KPFT Houston, 90.1 FM Pacifica, Radio for Peace. And we have a special guest here in the studio, an Austin born and bred singer-songwriter. She's been getting bigger and bigger audiences for years, and she has just finished appearing at the Austin City Limits Festival. So we want to talk to her all about that. But she's going to be here in town tonight at the Mucky Duck in support of her latest album, Steady Eye, Shaky Boat. It's going to be her last appearance for a while, ladies and gentlemen. She's moved to New York, so see her now. It is a pleasure to welcome to the KPFT studio, Susanna Choffel.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Now, okay, I played that because I heard that Patty Griffin, that album was kind of an important one to you.
Oh, yeah. I know. I was like, when you started playing it, I was like, oh, this feels like it's rooted in my memory bank somewhere. It's that album was very impactful on me. I went to see her when I was like 17, I guess, is when that album came out. You know, that's how old I was, and I went to go see her at the Cactus Cafe, and it was incredible. She moved me, so.
And she's still moving people, and she's just got so many amazing projects going on, including work with Robert Plant now.
I know, so. I saw them last weekend in Marfa, actually. Wow. I went to the El Cosmico Fest, and it was pretty surreal seeing them both on stage together, and, you know, she was calling him her sweetie, because they're kind of together now, I guess, and it was really cute and surreal and awesome. I mean, those two power voices together, it was pretty amazing, so.
And they're bringing in some Austin musicians, David Grissom, and Fukunaga, which
Michael
is great
Ramos,
as well.
yeah, all those great players who deserve that love and attention. So,
well, speaking of musicians who deserve love and attention, we're so happy you're here in the studio with us today.
Well, thank you.
And so now you're from Austin. You're an Austin native, which we're all jealous of because you live in Austin and you got to grow up in Austin. And you actually started playing piano and writing songs when you were 5. Is that right?
I don't know where that showed up on. It's so funny because someone introduced me doing that as that the other day too, and I was like, I started writing songs at a very young age. I mean, my mom said from the time I could talk, I'd follow her around the house kind of making up silly songs, but I didn't start playing the piano until I was like 8 or 9. So it was a little bit later, but you know, I definitely felt engaged and called to music at a really young age. So yeah.
That's now you played saxophone though
in
high school band.
Yes.
So piano, saxophone, there's a transition.
Yeah.
Was your carry a saxophone and a piano?
Well, it was one of those things. It was like I think it was 6th grade, you know, and they're like, do you want to do band, orchestra, choir? They give you those options, you know, and I'm like, I want to do band and I want to play a saxophone. And it was awesome. I loved it. But then it was like the next year when you had to make that elective decision again, I was like, I really want to do choir, you know, because I loved singing. So I switched from band to singing. So I really only played sax for a year, but I loved it. It was great. One of these days I always joke I'm going to pick it back up and start playing, so.
In your shows. You know, you can do like the Carol Wonderland thing.
Exactly.
And only with saxophone.
And with saxophone instead of trumpet. Exactly. So, she's so great.
Yeah, she's so great. We love her now. But moving on. So now you were also an athlete too, like a serious like varsity athlete in high school, right?
I was kind of a jock,
Well, that's a cool thing. So is it true that you would actually like sing the national anthem at basketball games and then you'd play?
Yeah.
So how did that work?
I would get doubly nervous before the game because I get so nervous about the actual game and playing, but then I'd be like, oh yeah, I have to sing too. Oh my gosh, what if I hit the wrong note on, you know, the big, you know, climax on that song? It's just crazy. It's like, it's that big note that sometimes you miss, but it was fun. It was great. It was you know, it was like combining my two passions, singing and basketball. I loved basketball. I really kind of threw myself into it for a while and like envisioned myself playing for the WNBA, you know, and then it was like towards the end of high school I was kind of like, nah, I like music more, you know, and decided to go that route.
So, I mean, growing up in Austin, you had some amazing musical influences all around you, and I mean, obviously, you mentioned Patty Griffin. I mean, who else inspired you when you were just kind of getting out on the scene?
When I was really young, I didn't really listen to a lot of local music. I mean, I kind of grew up in the suburbs of Austin, and then when I was a teenager, I always kind of like say this is the good thing that came out of the divorce. My parents divorced, and I moved with my mom to South Austin, and kind of the heart of, I mean, we grew up I lived behind the Broken Spoke and down the street from the Saxon Pub. So, you know, it was suddenly, that's when I was starting to get exposed to more of the local scene and local music. And my mom listened a lot to Sean Colvin and Eliza Gilkison, and so they're very strong voices that I remember, you know, hearing and kind of getting into their music. But I was actually way more into urban music, like R&B and hip hop, when I was probably, you know, middle school to early high school. And then it was later in high school that I started getting into folk music. I got obsessed with Joni Mitchell's Blue album and, you know, Patty Griffin. and you know, Janis Joplin and all those, you know, awesome female, you know, personas and voices. And so that's when I kind of started, you know, taking notice of Eliza Gilkison, Sean Colvin, Patty Griffin, some of the local, you know, I was like, wow, I can actually go to these clubs, and some of them were all ages, you know, and so I could actually go to the Cactus Cafe, and where else did I go? The Black Cat, which used to be a big all-age venue downtown on 6th. And so there were little places I'd pop into. Antone's I'd go to all the time, you know, and I loved Guy Forsyth, and you know, I don't know who else I went and saw. There were too many to remember, but yeah, it was great. So
that's the beautiful part about Austin. There are too many people
I know,
to see.
I know, I know.
But so we're here with Susanna Choffel. You're going to be at the Mucky Duck tonight.
Yes.
Nice early show starting at 7:30, so that's tremendous, and
yes.
that'll be great. And this is your last show at the Mucky Duck for a while,
Probably
right?
just like till the end of the year at least. I mean, I'm moving to New York in November. That's my big news. But I will definitely come back, you know, once every 2 months, probably to do like a little Texas tour. I've already kind of looked at the Mucky Duck calendar to see if I could book a show in December, but it looks kind of booked, so I'll probably wait until January maybe. But so that's why I'm telling everybody, come out tonight, because it's, you know, last chance to see me for at least a few months in Houston anyway. So yeah,
and it's our last chance to have you here in the studio for a while. So let's let everybody hear a little bit of what they're going to hear tonight.
Okay.
What would you like to play?
I'm going to play a song called Animal. It's from my new album, and it's kind of dear to me. I wrote it when I was kind of starting a new relationship and just thinking about how, you know, I was thinking about what if I made a questionnaire, but in the form of kind of an animal, like qualities that I like in another animal. And so anyway, that's kind of what inspired this. Are you? Do you take small steps? Do you follow it through? Do you say? How do you do? Are you a burrower? Do you like the sun? When the wind starts to blow, do you walk or do you run? I'm just trying to figure out if you're the one. And long ago I was a bear, and my other half he went somewhere. And when the flood came falling down, he was nowhere to be found. Oh, make a sound. Long ago I was a pear, and my other half he went somewhere. And when the flood came falling down, he was nowhere to be found. Oh, make a sound. Are you alone somewhere? And do you still care? In some far-off land full of gold and sand, and are you my man? Oh, are you my man? Oh, are you my man? If you are, oh, won't you please make a stand?
See, I'm an animal, baby, and you're an animal too. So what kind are you? So what kind are you?
Susanna Choffel live in the studio at KPFT. The song is Animal, and she will be live at the Lucky Duck tonight.